What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing a quick gameplay video between me and my buddy here on the left. I'm on the right playing my Shaddoll hero deck, he's on the left playing his PK Fire, our Phantom Knight Burning Abyss deck, just to showcase a little bit of what the deck can do in action, how it can play through some disruptions. We played a few games, and this was definitely the best one in terms of both of us getting off the ground to be able to play the way our decks wanted to play, and also having a little bit of back and forth interaction between the two of us where we had to play through each other's boards. So starting off here, PK Fire player is going to go first. He gets to resolve his tour guide this game. There was quite a few games where he didn't get to resolve it at all. So he gets to do his standard combo here, go into Phoenix Rhino Warrior, summon his Cherubini, resolve all of his effects. His Rhino Warrior is probably going to dump, I believe it was the Graph here. And Graph summons Seer. And so his deck is actually playing quite a lot of traps. Outside of just the PK traps, he's actually playing like Karma Cuts, Dynamiscus, Ice Dragon's Prison. So like he has an easier time outing some of the cards that I can put on the board than other decks might be able to, especially Ice Dragon's Prison, because that's basically an instant out to Dragoon in basically any deck, which is kind of cool. And then Dynamiscus and Karma Cut are also very good outs to Winda that don't require monsters. So his deck is honestly set up pretty well to out my stuff. So he sends a Libic here. He's got the Alec in hand. From this point, he goes into his Rusty Bardiche, and Rusty's just kind of crazy for any deck that's able to make him Seer special back that Cherubini. He's going to be able to get his dump so he can get his 2 negates this turn, and in a deck like PK Fire, where they're actually using the level 3 extenders, it's pretty wild because searching the boots is good most of the time because it allows you to extend further in your plays. And then Alec had its effect negated, so that's why it's not destroyed here. And he summons an IP Masquerena, and then he uses his Boots effect to grab another Phantom Knight's Disruption. So right now he's got his, from basically what I can just see on the board before he continues to set more cards, he's got an IP plus 2 Fog Blades, and then whatever else he sets, and he ends up setting 1 more card. And then potentially a Rusty Pop if he's able to get something into the grave and then bring something back on a later turn. But he won't have a Rusty Pop on this turn. So me, I'm looking at my hand. I have quite a lot of gas in my hand because I didn't open any hand traps. So I'm going to start off with an E-Telly here. Get access to, I believe this is where I get a Wendy. Yeah, I get an early Wendy to try to bait out any of that back row. See if he'll bite on it, because I'm about to commit to El Shaddoll. And all of this is in standby phase. Sorry, I should preface that. All of this is in standby phase, so I can dodge the effect of IP Masquerena. I'm just trying to bait through as much as I can, potentially. I was planning on going into an Apcolone here to clear the IP Masquerena effect during standby, like I said. So that would be one less threat I would have to deal with, but it still ends up fishing out a Dynamiscus. And I'm still able to resolve the L out of hand, so I must. Just thinking on what I actually want to do, because the play sequencing here is very important to be able to play through those disruptions. End up sending the Gamma and a Hedgehog. Always structuring my chains so that my construct is protected. And of course it gets Fog Bladed because it has a crazy effect. Basically going to give me a ton of advantage here. It's also going to stop me from just going straight into battle phase with that construct and attacking his IP Masquerena. So it performs a little bit of double duty there. So we grab the Falco because we want to make some Needle Fiber plays. I believe he stops to think here. No, I just activate Normal Polymerization. Fusing away the Squamata and the Construct. We're gonna chain everything so that our last construct is chain link 3 to add back our L, so that we can chain block properly from Ash or Ogre, any of the other effects, or Gamma on the other effects, which are much more important to resolve. And if you noticed, he actually, well, it'll come up later. I'll mention it later. But here, I think I just debate for a long time and then ultimately decide to dump the aerial combo to the graveyard. We'll see how this goes. I believe it was the aerial combo here. Because I want basically as many extenders as possible. I'm still thinking that he's probably gonna summon a unicorn off of this IP Masquerena. I was not expecting what he does actually end up summoning, which made my lines of play a little more awkward than I thought. But me being a little bit indecisive here on what I want to send, because I know that he still has a minimum of 2 disruptions left. Yeah, so I end up going for the aerial play and set aerial to the board. And then afterwards, I just declare battle phase to see if I can fish out a response from him. Either we're aiming to clear the IP effect or the Fog Blade effect here, so that we can actually proceed with our turn before we commit to our aerial combo. We want to make sure that Fog Blade is kind of gone. So it's like a non-factor, or at least the IPs. We want something to be gone, so we know that we have only one more thing to play around. And we still haven't used our normal summon here, which is very important because we searched Falco earlier in the turn, and he knows that. He knows that I'm trying to fish out stuff so I can perform a Needle Fiber combo with whatever's remaining on my board. So he decides at end of main that he does want to use his IP Masquerena effect. I think he's hesitant as well, deciding what he wants to go into. Goes into a Zero Boros here, so that I can't freely summon the Needle Fiber. We talked about this a little bit after the match too. He said he felt like that was a little bit of a misplay, and he should have summoned it in the his far left zone on the other side of Rusty Bardiche, so that I couldn't force his Topologic whenever I wanted to, and that he could with his own Fog Blade, because he discarded his, I think it's gloves, Phantom Knight gloves, earlier in the turn off of the Dynamiscus effect, and that would basically give him controlled access to Zero Boros me whenever he wanted to, and instead he kind of ended up putting it in my hands. I mean, he still could have done it whenever he wanted to as well, but he also just gave me the option to force out it myself, which I think he kind of regretted. And here I blunder, because I still go into battle phase, thinking that Construct can out this Zero Boros, which is a huge misplay because the the IP Masquerena actually protects the Zero Boros from being destroyed by card effects. So my Construct effect just doesn't do anything here, and then I end up just losing a Construct for no reason. Honestly, a very, very bad misplay on my part. I was kind of kicking myself pretty badly for forgetting that effective IP. It kind of balances out though, because I'm able to, because of the misplay that he made, by giving me the opportunity to force his Zero Boros whenever I want. Because now I have access to my Shaddoll here, and I think he knows I have the Falco. Remember, this is all very, very important, that he knows I still have the Falco in hand, and he knows he doesn't have any more interruptions outside of this. So when I aerial, or when I race Shaddoll to flip up my my set aerial, he knows he doesn't really have much of a choice but to let it resolve. And then when Construct hits the board, I use Construct effect. And he's like, I have to. He's convinced he has to let it go through because he has no more real interruptions. I think maybe here at the end of this, after I dump Schism, he should have just ripped the Fog Blade from grave, or banished the Fog Blade from grave to summon back the gloves here, so that I can't resolve to get Schism back. But he lets me link summon, so I go into just a suicidal cross heap. They get back my Schism and force the Zero Boros. And there's not really much he can do about it there, because at this point, you know, it's not like his Fog Blade's going to get any value. And then from this point, because of that, I'm able to just... not much I can do for this turn, so I just set my Schism and my L, and I pass turn. He starts up his turn, his Zero Boros comes back. And then, unfortunately, Zero Boros is a dark, so I can kind of just out this card with Schism whenever I wanted to. However, I wasn't able to, because Zero Boros comes back in the standby phase, you're not able to Schism to catch its effect, to basically shut them out of effects for the rest of the turn. And then I think he goes to battle phase, and just opting to not take the damage, I just Schism here for a Windy or Winda, and then the Winda will just, because it's also a dark and the Zero Boros is a dark, Schism will just send that card to the grave. And then we're still in a good position too, because we have the Winda and we have the Shaddoll fusion plus a Falco in hand, so we can reestablish this Winda potentially if he tries to out it. And then this is kind of just where it snowballs. We'll just Schism again. I think this is the point of the duel where he realizes that Schism isn't a normal trap; it's actually a continuous trap. And then I'm going to be able to resolve that card every turn for the rest of the duel until he can out it. Yeah, so we're just going to banish a Light and a Shaddoll here. Go for a Construct, get some additional advantage. I think I was considering an App Cologne, but there was no reason to go for an App Cologne. Yeah, so I ended up banishing the Aerial and the Gamma for Schism to summon another Construct. Now, unfortunately, these cards can't attack directly, which sucks because it would be a lot of free pressure if they could. But thankfully, we can just like dump a random card to get us a plus. I think I ended up dumping Beast here just to go for the blank draw to see what I get. Debating here again what I want to do, if I want to send like a Wendy. Oh, I can't even send a Wendy because I've already special summoned once this turn. So yeah, we just go for the Beast. And then we'll draw our one card. And then off the draw, we actually end up getting a Vion, which is a play starter, and we're going to be able to dump Shadow Mist to search our Honesty Neos and banish that Shadow Mist for Polymerization. He was about to scoop here. I mentioned that he can't, my cards can't attack directly, and he's like, I don't really have anything going for me anymore. So I'm just going to concede here. But overall, yeah, a little bit of misplays on both players' parts. I think that it was a good showcase nonetheless because it shows like the different play lines that you can take with Shaddolls. I think he would have ended up winning if he had summoned. I think he would have ended up winning if he summoned the Zero Boros on the other side of the map. I think that's what we were talking about here at the end. Yeah, like right there. Because then I can't force it, and then he can just kind of do it whenever he wants to. Like during the end of my turn, if I try to set a Schism without properly outing the Zero Boros, he can just banish my Schism, and then it's kind of a downhill experience for me for the rest of the duel, while he just gets to beat me down with like a very big monster, because it gains the attack for all of them in each player's graveyards. That's basically it. Just wanted to showcase a little bit what the deck could do in an actual gameplay scenario. Let me know what you guys think. If there are any other matchups you guys want to see, I can see if I can make that happen. Let me know about the format of this video. I know it's a little bit janky because I had to set it up this way where it wasn't that nice top-down view, but I feel like it worked out okay. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed. This is Underclock here. I'll see you next time.